There are only two things. My job is to give advice. And I can be very good at giving that, except implementing that in my own life. But if somebody listens to me, I have experienced not just my astrology journey, being the editor of a magazine and being in astrology for decades and having multiple friends in astrology. What I've realized is astrology can be a trap. Astrology can be a beautiful trap that you can never come out of. And it's important to understand either you can become an astrologer in this lifetime, or you can learn that kind of astrology which an astrologer will never be able to. So there are two paths for you. One is to go down the professional route. Some of you will end up making channels. Some of you will end up teaching, whatever, becoming popular, make money out of it, etc. And the second part is when it becomes an internal sadhana. When it becomes an internal penance. Sadhana means penance. So when it becomes an internal sadhana, your desire is only to learn in this chart what the planets are trying to say, how the planets are trying to correct the karma, what is the trap that the planet is showing to us. The more you study a subject, when you study it once a week, you are under one groove of mind. When you study it continuously every alternate days, it seeps in, and you're thinking. To think, you need to be quiet, because when you are thinking, your mind, your soul is talking back to you. So unless you have the ability to be quiet, it's like going to nature. Have you realized every morning the same sound? When you're very alert and very quiet, very much in a serene condition, you hear much more. Have you realized that? The same sound of the nature, the birds chirping, various other strange new sounds you can hear. Have you experienced that, everybody?
Yes, sir, of course.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you want to learn astrology, the very first thing you got to do is quieten yourself, quieten your mind. Let go of desires. Please understand a very important statement I heard from only one astrologer. I knew that statement. I knew the truth of it. I knew the absolute truth of it. But I've heard only one astrologer say it. That is my mentor. And how he learns astrology, none of us can learn that way. No doubt. Even the topmost astrologers in India don't impress me how much my mentor impresses me. And he isn't famous. The only thing he's famous for is the top astrologers that you see today, who are published by various publications like Sagar Publications, etc. My mentor has been behind them. My mentor has been behind that, being published, edited, etc. and all that. So he impresses me for his honesty towards astrology. He started learning astrology to understand one particular shloka of Bhagavad Gita. One particular shloka. How many of us can do that? To understand a particular shloka of Bhagavad Gita, he took up astrology for 40 years. Nobody consults him, nor does he want anybody to consult him. The The maximum prediction he will do is, many years back, he called me, he said, it's time for you to get married. I said, you know me, I've given up on marriage. I'm married to Saptarishis Astrology. He said, no, it's time for you to get married. And within few months, I was married. That's how predictions are. He said to me, jyotish sannyasiyon ka vidya. Astrology is for yogis, people who have given up mundane life. The other great statement I received is no doubt from a great sadhak. Sadhak means one who does penance, sadhana. Very dear friend of mine from US from the last 20, 25 years, who avoids social media, who avoids coming on any kind of YouTube channel, who has been on and off the real path. Because unfortunately, she says in US and it's very costly to be in US. But a very sincere student who goes so deep into astrology, so deeply, she makes me feel ashamed of my level of commitment, her commitment towards going deep into, if she's learning Bhav Chalit, she's learning. And she has a very simple fundamental that I have. Okay. She avoids commercial astrologers, commercial gurus. Most of us run and flock behind famous astrologers. The moment you run and flock behind famous astrologers, your soul is not pure. Simple. Rishis will never teach you. Mark my words, I have had the experience. I can teach you all techniques. Any kid, Tom, Dick, and Harry can teach you techniques. But if one of you understand the path of jyotish, of what I'm saying today, then you must understand it's an old man who has had so much of experience. I have burnt so much of money, my family money that my parents deserved, my wife, my kid deserved, traveling all over India, meeting such rare astrologers you can't imagine. You can't even imagine the kind of astrologers I've met. The only thing I saw to it, I never asked them to teach me astrology. I never asked even a single person to teach me a single thing. I was very particular with my Jupiter debilitated. I was very particular whom I make a guru. Very particular. Whatever be the condition of my Jupiter in my chart, I knew this is a science. The moment you learn anything from anybody, he becomes your guru, one. So if his karma is bad, if he does jyotish for fame and money, you will end up spoiling your Jupiter. Simple. And Jupiter governs so many things in our horoscope, including our children. Idiots are the ones who enter the film industry for fame. Great actors never want fame. Fame is a byproduct. It's a byproduct. You can wear a Movado watch, Swiss watch, like Narendra Modi, but you should not be affected by it. You can be without watch for several years like me, not be affected by it. If Jyotish can't teach you that, then unfortunately, let me tell you, your horoscope is pathetic, or you've not done a good karma of getting a good guru. If Jyotish can't make you humble, if Jyotish can't make you quiet, if Jyotish can't make you become Jean-Claude, one of the greatest characters, I'm forgetting Hugh, I'm forgetting the writer, Hugh, the movie La Miserables, the French movie. You got to read that. If you haven't read that book, you have not read. They made
Sorry, Victor Hugo.
Sorry, Victor Hugo.
Victor Hugo.
Thanks, Larry. They made 20 movie adaptations of that same story. That character needs to become your hero. If you haven't watched that movie, I'm saying leave Jyotish for some time and watch that movie again and again and again. Of course, the 1979 version is the best according to me. Whenever I'm depressed in life, I watch that movie. बेटा देख Amazon से. So, Jyotish needs to make you self-sacrifice, like that Ghatak coach. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, the Mahabharata character. Ghatak coach, right? Who knew he was going to die. Who knew he's going to die, yet he goes smiling, knowing he's going to die. When he's called upon. He was called upon. If you don't develop, you may have your weaknesses of probably money, addictions, whatever. But side by side, work on your character. Side by side. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say Jyotish, as that lady friend of mine said, it's an internal sadhana. Some of you are into sadhana. If you are into sadhana for power, fame, money, you're a joke. I'm sorry to say that. I also have done sadhana sometimes for money. Yeah, it becomes desperate when you can't pay bills. It becomes desperate when one of your family members is in the hospital and you don't have that money because your medical insurance does not cover. Why am I saying all this? What's the use of learning astrology? It's like, how do I say it? Put your cameras on, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see your eyes. It's like you meeting Lord Krishna or Shri Ram or Lord Shiva. And you're asking, sir, please make me a billionaire. Sir, please make me world famous astrologer. Whatever I say has to come true. And Lord Shiva says, Sala, what an idiot. If you would have asked moksha, I would have given it to him. If he would have asked how to become a good human being, I would have told him. We are such idiots of the highest order. And if unfortunately any of your signs that are governed by Mars or Saturn is there, then you will say, are you Lord Shiva? Please show me your Aadhaar card. Sachi. Please show me your identification that you're Lord Shiva. Please prove me you're Lord Shiva. Please prove me you're Lord Krishna. How do I believe you? I'm Scorpio Lagna. I'm so sorry. I'm Aquarius Lagna. I'm so sorry. Inborn suspicious character. तुम लोग हंस भी रहे हो और म्यूट भी रखे हो. You all are laughing also, but you kept yourself on mute. Otherwise, every time you all are laughing and I can hear you. Why on mute? Really, really, I met people You know what you should do? Amit Kamdar told me once, sir, stand, he's from Bandra. So there is always Bandra Fair, the yearly 8th August it happens. All film stars, everybody comes over there. 8th September, my wife's correction. That was the only day I used to become Christian and carry and drive my father to the church, Mother Mary's Church, a very famous church at Bandra, Bombay, where all film stars used to stay earlier. Now they shifted to Juhu and they reside. So,
Mount Mary Fest.
sorry?
Mount Mary Fest.
Mount Mary Fest. So many people used to stand on the street and they used to give water for the pilgrims who are coming in the heat, etc., and all that. Okay. Lakhs and lakhs of people, thousands and thousands of people come. Amit Kamdar told me once, sir, if you stand on that street and if you give gold biscuits as donation, still people, first they will check it is gold or not. Then they will feel why this man is giving this. Something wrong. Either he's mental or something wrong. That's the problem with us if God comes to us, and God's come to us in various forms. Rishis come to us in various forms and teach us astrology. We still suspect. Avoid negative people, avoid people who always talk ill of others. Golden rule.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have to make life simple. When your spiritual progress happens, the first thing that will happen in your life is you will start slowly disassociating automatically with negative people. Have you all experienced this, or
Very
some
true,
of you
sir.
have experienced this?
Very
Yes.
true, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very true, sir.
Your best friends will start going away.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You don't need to do any spiritual practice. Just pray to God. Tomorrow, 9:15, pray to God. But be very careful. It is like crayon implants. Have you all heard of crayon implants?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I spoke about it 7 years back in my interview with Kapil Raj. Many people, crayon is a channeling, spiritual channeling, it's an entity, very advanced, very highly spiritual. If you read the books of Lee Carroll, okay, who has written crime series of books, especially in that journey home, if you read. In olden days, 1996, I'm talking about 27 years back when I was into crime. It's a spiritual movement. It changes you completely. That time when I read, I heard, it was not in book form. It was in that cassette form, cassette. Now cassettes you don't get. I still remember I was in the studio editing, and in that you pay per hour, the editing room, you pay per hour. So I told my assistant, you go and edit. And I was 2 days, I was outside only hearing Journey Home. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. It changes your life. Especially there was one incident, sorry, I'm deviating, but it will help you all. Okay. You know, many things we want in life, and we really work hard, we push hard, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So it says, when you push a door open, you try to go into the room, when you push a door open, you bang a door, the door will go in a speed, hit the wall, and come back. So do not push a door too much. Anything in life, When you want something, when you desire something too much, you land up like forcing somebody to love you. One-sided love. You can push with compassion, and the other person will love you back. You want something, you want to stand first in your 10th standard exam, you work hard. But what do our parents say? Give your best. If you don't stand first in the state, it's okay. Life will not fail. Life will not stop. Correct? So that was the time when I was learning. In crime, there is something called implants. When you do the implants meditation, your whole life changes. Everybody around you, including your parents, children, wives, husband, children, everybody who are not in tune with your spiritual journey, they start falling apart. Either they leave you, or if they are living with you, you get dissociated with them emotionally. It's a very difficult process. It takes 2.5 years, and those 2.5 years is hell. Hell is not the word. Hell. I tell people who were on the crime journey, don't do it. People do it and they have suffered. But after that, their spiritual growth is far beyond. But sometimes implants happen automatically. I noticed it. And later I read it that even in the books, it was written it automatically happens. The same goes with your meditation and upayas that you're doing in astrology. Don't do too many upayas. Don't do too many remedies. Are you getting it? Don't, Mrs. Bed, don't over-analyze an astrology, via astrology a situation in life. Life becomes hell. I'm giving you advice. You should be in such a state that you are doing astrology 24 hours. But if you decide no astrology, you can live astrology in a minute. Same goes for your addictions of drinking, smoking, or gossip, phone calls. You should be able to give it up in 1 minute flat. Robert De Niro's dialogue in the movie Heat. I don't touch anything that I can't give up in a minute flat. Your intention should always be, how do I understand my pending karma? How do I correct? And eventually your life should lead you to silence. Absolute silence, ekant. Otherwise, astrology is not a spiritual science. Your life should lead you to sacrifice. A woman knows it better. She sacrifices her happiness for children, for husband. Your basis of studies for jyotish can't be on fake promises, on fake assumptions. Your basis of your relationships, your basis of your career can't be fake. Yes, we eventually start off with materialistic desires. But having jyotish on our side, you're going to keep on correcting one area or the other. Are you getting it? Ladies and gentlemen, become kind and compassionate. Think less, speak less. The eyes in your life, I, me, myself in your lives should disappear. From your 50 or 100 contacts or 5,000 contacts, let your contacts reduce to only this much. 5 in your life. But those 5 should be strong. Strong. You getting it? The only friend you require is to become friends with you. Okay? I want you all to not chit-chat. Reflect on something that has happened. You all need to sit in meditation. Sit in meditation. Reflect. Either you be a walking meditation when you have Ketu in the first house, you can be a walking meditation. A very important sutra. Your mind can be somewhere else. Your spouse can be talking to you, but your mind will be somewhere else.
Ketu in which house, sir?
Any house Ketu, that relative can have the ability of being walking meditation, or his mind will be somewhere else many a times when you're talking. Because Ketu does not have a head.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Two shlokas, one from BPHS chapter 1 and the other from Gargohora, where it is clearly mentioned that we should not give this knowledge to somebody who is crafty, who is a crafty person, and the undeserving. This particular knowledge, the other knowledge, since it's all out in the open, it's fine, as per me, although it's still not fine. A guru should or a teacher should always see the chart of the other student and see if that person is capable of digesting it or misusing it. For example, in the South, the Parampara astrologers, you go to them, you land up spending 1.5 lakhs in pujas for everything, especially in my hometown, Kerala. In Prashna, the first thing that comes out is some curse, some spirit traveling, or some black magic, or some nazar dosh, or evil eye. Then they will suggest remedies for pujas. In North, it is gemstones. Whether it's needed, not needed, okay. But this is the practice. So when a teacher teaches astrology to such a student who later on becomes a fleecer of money, the teacher has to bear that karma. Are you understanding? That's the reason I tell people, best not to have friends. Because when you have friends, you are supporting him or her in his good times, bad times. All the evil things that he or she is doing against her relatives or near and dear ones or her friends, you'll end up supporting, giving emotional support directly, indirectly. So you become a bhagidar, a part and parcel of that person's karma, whether it is 5% or 2%.
Sir, I have one question.
To one gentleman, I was teaching past life astrology, Mars, Saturn, one combination by which you can see murder in past life. When I did the past life webinar, I was supposed to teach that. And after, it was supposed to be only one lecture webinar, very low cost. And because I wanted everybody to learn that. And then I was going to teach about this murder technique. I felt sick, and for 6 weeks, I could not take lectures. That one particular lecture I could not take. Although I had supposed to be one lecture, but I had already completed 4 lectures of a couple of hours. It was supposed to be one lecture of 2 hours. Then I called up Nitesh. I said, refund everybody. Because what I want to, because until I am satisfied with my teaching, I feel that money you can't digest. I've seen that. Astrology money, especially, you can't digest because you're playing with gods. You're playing with God's plan. You're trying to act God. And that's the reason an astrologer is called a Daivagna. Today, that person is not present here today. That person sent me a chart and sent to Vinayak also the same chart. And had earlier sent it to somebody else also, which that person said in the phone call. You have to go to only one Daivagna. The first astrologer you consult for your problem is the Daivagna appointed by God. When you're a master of Prashna, the first thing you do in a Prashna, which in North it is not taught. You can't learn Prashna, real Prashna, with North Indian astrology. I'm sorry to say. You learn many things. You should learn from both North and South. In South, the first thing you do is, the astrologer should cast a Prashna and see, am I ordained by God gods to see this native's future. Nobody talks about this. But in Kerala, this is the first thing taught. And I have given the technique in Prashna, always cast a Prashna. The first thing you see is ninth house. Ninth house affliction, ninth lord afflicted from all the lagnas. Tell the person to go home, do some puja part, recitation of God's name, Nama Japa that is called, and come back after a few days.
Is of predicting this date you will get job, this date you will get married, this date you will get money. That is common astrology, the astrology of the bazaar, of the streets. But if you transcend and become an astrologer, where you do karma correction, you are transcending and doing the astrology of the rishis, the real reason why astrology was born. Am I right or wrong, Arup? Patanjali.
Yes, sir. 100%.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I
True, sir.
teach you that astrology, not the Madarika Tamasha astrology or the dance bar astrology, or the astrology of the rich and famous. Celebrities will not consult you. Nobody wants to hear where they are doing a dharma. You will be an astrologer like me, living a very lonely life, who doesn't meet anybody. I hate meeting people. I hate parties. For me, it is a torture to go to all those parties of my in-laws. And I have a lot of in-laws, unfortunately. For me, it's an absolute torture. It's better to keep on, sit in a balcony, keep on thinking, read a shloka, think. Get your fundamentals correct. Why you are doing something, what is the intention? Intention is the key. A person outside would be doing something wrong. You'll say bad karma, but what is his intention? First, find out his intention. People will think he's doing good karma. No, what is his intention? If I am giving free knowledge out on YouTube, is it to get clients for my courses, or is it something that I believe in giving out? Do I give that knowledge? No, that knowledge on YouTube should be a basic knowledge, but the real knowledge in my courses. If that distinction is there, that's my alarm for my medicines, unfortunately. So, why am I giving that knowledge? Am I making distinction between the rich and the poor? To pay me money, then only I'll dance, I'll do my mujra, I'll do my strip dance? No. You've got to be crystal clear with your intention, whether people like you or not. And if you are very hard on principles, people will start judging. They will judge every action. Why does he smoke if he's so hard on his principle? Are you getting it? We want our gurus to be perfect. And we have a habit of finding flaws. Even if the woman is Katrina Kaif, if she has a black mole here, she has a black mole. That's what people, I have 3 moles on my face. What can I do? God didn't make me the perfect Katrina Kaif. All right, ladies and gentlemen, practice astrology of the heart. Love it. If you love it so much, as I told my child, if you love football so much, you'll get up in the morning and practice. You'll practice everywhere. Every moment of your life. And that's what jyotish has taught me.